Okay, last day we have discussed about HTML, and I discussed special topic frame sets, which is actually not available in your syllabus, but still important to know these things, as so you should know how frame sets are working, how multiple pages can be combined into the single page. As I promised, today I'll use my time to discuss or revise the internet and email lesson again, because it has some theoretical parts that mostly some students cannot remember this, as this is a bit technical. Therefore, I thought let's do small revision and finish that second chapter as well as the third chapter with another revision, so where we can cover the things again one more time. Then you should be able to watch the video again. So by watching this video, you can again master in the particular area. So then that is why I decided to revise this. Okay, so here actually we are going to learn about internet and email. Okay, what we discuss about the internet, if you can remember, so internet is the world's largest public wide area network. So that is the number one. So I'll put this topic into a summary note. So we discuss about the internet. It is the world's largest public wide area network. Internet is the world's largest public wide area network, and we call that a network of networks too. It is also called a network of networks. These are the points that we learn under this chapter. And not only that, so it provides infrastructure for many services. It provides infrastructure. It provides infrastructure for many services. And so what are the services? So one main thing is World Wide Web, and not only that, you have email, video conferencing or teleconferencing, file sharing, so remote access, and then instant messengers, social media, cloud services, news groups. These are some examples. So that why we are using internet. These are some. It provides infrastructure. So these are the main services or major services provided by the internet. So we learn about that as well. Let's go back and see the topics. So then we learned the internet is like the world's largest. It is a global village. Actually, it forms a global village. Everyone together, everyone. So that means you can communicate with any country, any region, any continent, any subcontinent within a second. So that much of fast internet facilities there. You can access Europe and see what's going on there. You can access America and see what's going on there. And actually, so I'm doing some classes for the students in some other countries. So especially if I'm doing a class in Sri Lanka in American time, actually they are, so when I'm doing the class in the morning, their time is evening or the night. So mostly. So actually I have to say good night, and the student need to say good morning, right, at the same time. So this is the greeting. So intercontinental greeting. So it's a different experience. So likewise, it is really fast, connects everyone. And so please remember, it works according to a protocol. So, you know, in army and different places, there are things called protocols. What are these protocols? Can you tell me your opinion about protocol? What is this protocol? What protocols are? So can you tell me at least few examples for protocols and what these protocols are doing? What is the purpose of having a protocol in communication? Yes, any idea? Yes, Pute, any idea? If you have any idea, you can tell. No idea, tell that no idea, then I can explain. Yes. Seems no idea, right? The protocols, okay. The protocols are actually a set of rules guiding in-network environment for the communication. Protocol is a set of rules and practices to be used and followed in network communication. So these are some set of rules to be followed in network communication. How the communication should happen. So what is the language? What is the speed? How data is sent? So what is the way, the data representation methodology? Are we going to send data in hexadecimal, binary, or octal? Likewise, so what is the encoding system that we are going to use? Is it ASCII, EBCDIC, binary? All these things need to be considered there, right? So that is a protocol. If you don't know, so you can write down the examples for protocols. You can tell the main protocol, IP, Internet Protocol. Okay, let's summarize into the table. So I would like, I think I have already given that, but the thing is like you cannot remember it, right? So that's why I was thinking of revising this lesson again. So let's write protocol, then the name, and so purpose. So why this protocol is? So first one is IP, Internet Protocol. It is the main protocol in the internet. So it assigns unique address called an IP address and helps packet switching. So what is this packet switching? Large messages are divided into small chunks, all packets, to send through the network easily. That is why, so we need to like divide, this is packet switching, send through the network easily. So that is what the packet switching. And so it assigns IP address, a unique address for communication, and also divided into packets. So that is the purpose of IP, Internet Protocols. Can you name few more protocols, please? Other than IP, can you name a few protocols? Timasha, yes, can you talk? I hope you can talk, right? It's great to hear your voice. If you can talk, so there, it's really good. Any other services? Any other protocols, sorry. Okay, the next protocol is TCP. These are important protocols. Transmission media, so transmission control protocol. Actually, it assures reliable delivery. It assures reliable delivery of packets. So, you know, the message cannot be sent as whole. Message need to be divided into small chunks. These chunks are called packets. So packets are going in different directions, different order, need to reassemble at the end. So that is done by TCP. it reassembles, it acknowledges the reliable delivery. If missing packets, it acknowledges. So it helps TCP. Actually, these protocols work together. So in your book, it is mentioned as TCP/IP. And another important protocol is HTTP. That is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That is for transporting web documents. We use Hypertext Transfer Protocol for transporting web documents. All these are rules. All these are different rules. How things translate. Then HTTP has another version called HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure version. That is HTTP Secure. So actually HTTP transports plain text. That means original text. Transports plain text. It's readable by a middle. It's readable by anyone. But HTTPS encrypts the data. So that is the specialty of HTTPS, and it is secure. So since it is not readable, so basically in the middle, people who don't know about this cannot read this HTTPS. There is another protocol. And ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. So I will keep some space, just find information about that and write. So that is true. Basically, I'll explain, right? Internet Control Message Protocol is basically sending internet related information. That is how the internet send message to check the connectivity. Right? For example, when you go there to the terminal, you can check whether you have connection with Google website. To do that, you can check ping www.google.com. So it says, type like that, it says ping here. So this is ICMP. You can see ICMP. It says there is a connection. Yes, there is a connection. That is informed by this. It says there is a connection. Actually, this is done. This is informed by these ICMP messages to check the connectivity, internet. So I think these are there in the book. These protocols are there in the book, right? So yes, let's see. Yes, here you can see ICMP. So Internet Control Message Protocol, it is informing and controlling messages with, if there are errors, the connectivity checking. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It's dealing with email, transferring emails. FTP, Files Transfer Protocol, dealing with transporting files. So these are important things. I'm not going to write down this since it is available in the book, but this need to be included into your summary note. And not only that, there are another protocols like DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Actually, it assigns automatic IP address. It assigns automatic IP address to join with the network. Right? It assigns automatically IP address to connect with the network. Typically, normally we have to give an IP address. If any network device is connected, you need to give IP address. If any device is connected, you need to give IP address, but this DHCP will automate that task. And there's another one, DNS, Domain Name System. Actually, it transfers IP to domain and domain to IP. Translate IP address, domain, and domain to IP. Actually, we can, like, people can remember domain names, right? But computers work with numbers. People can remember names, but computers or devices work with numbers. You know that your mobile phone can call to another mobile phone using mobile phone number. You can take a WhatsApp call to another WhatsApp using WhatsApp number. So numbers are recognizable by these devices, but not the names. They don't know names. We have to have a system which can, it's like a phone book. We need to have a system to know how this inter-transmission happen, how the translation happens. So it is done by a protocol called a domain name system. FTP, file transfer protocol, that is in the book, you can write down. ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, so I already got that. So then SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Then there's another one called Post Office Protocol, or POP version 3. Post Office Protocol, sending emails. Sorry, receiving emails, POPing, receiving emails. Transferring emails, SMTP, receiving emails, POP. And there is another one called Internet Message Access Protocol, IMAP, again, requesting or reading emails, getting emails. So these are different protocols. Likewise, there are a lot of protocols. Route Information Protocol, RIP, or then there's the ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, Reverse Address Resolution Protocol, RARP. Likewise, there are a lot of protocols. So different services are delivered to different protocols, different rules. So these rules are very important. That will help us synchronize. That will help us synchronize and work with the computers in the network. Because especially, so now you are in the class, but suddenly you had to leave due to that connection errors, and we have to synchronize the lesson. I have to pause the lesson and wait until join. The reason, because otherwise the communication won't happen properly. So that is kind of protocol. That is a kind of protocol. Okay. So these are all rules in network communication. Okay, let's go back and see how these things are happening. So main thing, main unit or main unique item in internet resource is a URL, Uniform Resource Locator. It is the resource link. The initial part is the protocol, set of rules. We learned that. Initial part is set of rules. This says this should be a website. I need a web service. Then World Wide Web. That is the service required, and this is domain name. Domain name is the main name given to that internet organization or cyber organization. In our world, in real world, we have names. For an example, let's say Pereira Group or Pereira and Sons or Pereira's shop, Pereira's coffee shop. So that can be like, there can be many such, right? Okay, let's say there is a cafe called White Cafe, something like White Cafe. There can be many white cafes around the world. There can be many. So that is not unique to the world, but this one, the domain, it is unique. Nowhere else you can find edupub.gov.lk. It's only assigned to one website or one domain. So that is unique to the world. Who assigns this? Who assigns this? Right, the assignment party is known as ICANN. That is Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. They are the people who assign in domain names. That is a worldwide organization or corporation assigning domain names. So they are assigning, but we are not going to get from the factory. They are the factory, but we will get from maybe domain.lk. We will get it from domains.lk. Or we will get it from a site like godaddy.com or ipower.com. So these are resellers. Right? These are resellers. These people can resell. Okay, let's search for a domain and you can see. So the GoDaddy, it says the Marsha.com is available only Singapore $8. I think we have access Singapore side. Yeah, that's the thing. It says Singapore dollar edit, and you can buy at imasha.com if you like. So likewise, if it is globally available, see how soon it is searching very fast. It is searching very fast and listing you and telling you here. I found the domain. So see this. You can try, but here in Sri Lanka, I'm pretty upset about their service because this domains.lk, they are not even loading their website on time. So it's very, very slow. It's almost dying, seems. This is for the LK domain. LK domain, so it's from Oracle University. I don't know. Today it's very slow. Very, very slow. When the provider is slow, don't think about the other things. Like, okay, anyway. So this is now, you can see it's a reseller. We are buying from reseller, but who's offering this? This is offered by a person called ICANN. Not person, actually, organization called ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, and they are responsible for offering this. This is unique. This is unique. And in this unique address, there can be many websites. Okay, let's see how can we search. If I want to search certain address, I can search site colon. This is how I can search. Then the site name, the domain name, site colon domain name. So I have searched site colon ni.lk. Site colon ni.lk. It will list all the public resources available under that site. All the public, not the private. But if there are any public websites, public web pages, files available to me, it will be listed. So this is a search tip in Google. So remember, site colon ni.lk, you can list all the public pages which are accessible through Google, which are public. All the public. Right, you can see exams.ni.lk, ni.lk v material, ni.lk r register, ni.lk default 3, ni.lk FA CDEP 71. All are under ni.lk. ni.lk is the domain. Other things are pages, folders, resources, some kind of resource. It can be a file, it can be a folder, it can be a web page, it can be multimedia, anything. So that is here. So URL has the first part is the protocol, the second part is the service and the domain name. Basically, we call the total, all these things, the domain name. Then it may be subdomain as well. Subdomain means like this. So mail.google.com is subdomain of Google. Actually, this is Gmail. So then if you access images.google.com, subdomain of images, Google, images.google.com, news.google.com. This is a subdomain of Google. So Google, and like Google, there are many websites having subdomains. Like Google, there are many websites having subdomains. Right, Lavanya, you're usually late. So why is that? So this has happened few times. I said you this last day also. So what's the issue? Are you having another class? So what's going on? Lavanya, can you hear me? Hello. I can't hear you, Lavanya. I don't know. I can see you are talking, but can't hear you for some reason. Anyway, so if you can hear me, that's enough. But if you can hear me, that's enough. But try to join on the time, right? So that is otherwise. So I have discussed very important lesson. Actually, I have summarized this. So you miss the most important part. When you miss the first part, the second part is sometimes it's difficult to you to concentrate because you miss the initial things. So be careful. Okay, so then we were discussing about the domain names and these are different URLs. You are in URL, it can, the minimum, it can be domain name. Domain name vitarak tibbat URL ekak thama. Here you have ni.lk, that is also a URL, but it has domain only. But domain and the resource is domain ekath eka resource ekath tibbot, it is very good. So it's also a URL. URL is anyway unique. It's unique. No two URLs can be there. එකම දේවල් එක URL එකෙන් දෙකකට යන්නේ නැහැ. Website දෙකකට යන්නේ. It's only pointing to a single resource. Maybe it can be like a folder, but the thing is it's pointing to a single resource. So then the IP address. IP address we learned. So what is IP address? So summary of this is, again, I need to add IP address, especially IP version 4 address. IP version 4 address is 32-bit, 4 portion, doctor, binary number. That means you have 32 bits. Bit is binary digit. 32 such bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the maximum. In between that, there can be any value like this 1, 1. There can be any number like this. So let's translate this to decimal and see. So 0 to decimal is anyway 0. It is 0.0.0.0. That is the minimum IP address. But theoretical, right? So this is written in decimal. This is written in decimal, right? The high path in Tama Penani, but it is actually calculated in binary but listed in decimal. So what is the maximum possible? Can you tell what is the maximum possible IP address that we can assign? You have to add them together. These are the binary numbers. The එකේ ගොඩවල්, දෙකේ ගොඩවල්, හතරේ ගොඩවල්, 8, 10, 32, 64, 128. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 128. Altogether, the number is 255. So that is the highest number that you can go to a possible IP address in IP version. This is the highest, but theoretical highest, right? Maximum theoretical. That is the maximum theoretical. So we cannot go more than that. So in between that, so you can see IP address. This is another IP address. Let's translate that 1 plus 1. This is 128 plus 64. 128, 64. It is 192. Then this is 1010. This is 128 plus 64 net to 32. 128, 32, 160. Here 0. And this is 6. This is also another IP address. So this is how you write the IP address, and this is how you convert that. And how can you see your IP address? How to see your own IP address? So you can go to the command line and type ipconfig to see your private IP address related to your network. If you need the public address, you have to Google saying, what is my address? What is my IP address? That will give you a public IP address. Why there are two IP addresses? Because you know, in your home, you may have nicknames like Chuti Puta, Chuti Tua, Sudu Puta, Sudu Tua, whatever. You may have nicknames, but the thing is that is common, right? It can be there in some other house also. That can be there in many places. So it is kind of common. So if you need a unique one, that is your full name. So similarly, So there is a nickname like IP address, there is a private IP address, and there is a public IP address. But this public IP address is not fixed. It is given as a shared address by ISP. If you need a public IP address, a unique public address, you have to pay ICANN. That is why ICANN can Internet Corporation for assign names and numbers. It is not just assign domain name, it's assigning IP addresses too. If you wish, you can buy a public IP address, but you have to pay extra and buy this. So having public IP address is good. It's like having a rented building. You can start your own institute, own place, own organization, own company, or you can register your own company there. Why? Because you have that assigned to you only. But typically, the public IP address given by the ISP is shared among many. So that is not unique to you. It is shared among many. But private IP address in your network is unique to you and your private network only. So it can be there in some other networks too. So understand this carefully, this IP concept. There are two versions of IP, private, public. Private IP is like your Sudukuta, Chutukuta things in your nickname, things in your house. Public IP address is the publicly unique IP address assigned to you. When you are connected to the internet, you will get a public IP address. If you are not connected to the internet, you will not get a public IP address. You can search it in Google, but to see your private IP address, you can type IP config in command prompt. That will give you private IP address. You can change your IP address because it is your private one. You can change it as well. So shall we see just by moving to a screen? Can anyone share the screen? Then I can show you quickly. Please share the screen. Please share the screen for this. So this is your time. Don't waste it. Still, it is wasted. Currently, it is wasted actually due to some technical reason. Also, we miss some time. So don't waste it. Hereafter, don't waste it anymore. So just share it. Okay. I'll wait till still Lavanya's screen is loading. That doesn't matter. Share it. Okay, now I can see. Lavanya, you have to go to your network, your control panel first. Go to your control panel. Click on the Windows, yes, then search control. And you can then go to the control panel there. CONTROL, control. Just search and you'll get it. A search is not working, right? You can type Windows key and R key together. Windows key and R key together, and here you're getting that. If not, you can type Windows key and R key and type control there and run it. So that is easier. Windows key, R key together. Windows key R key press karan. Then type control and press enter. That will execute. That will run the control panel. That is easy, I think. Control for this. Control. Okay, wait, don't worry. Just wait. Let's see what will happen. Computer slow well adu. You can go to task manager and speed up a little. පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන් task manager එකට ගිහිල්ලා. Yeah, click on control to the control panel. If it is not open, you can right click there and start the task manager. Let's make it faster, a little faster. Click here and go to the task manager. So I think you have a lot of applications running there. That is the reason why it has slowed down. Okay, then go to the view network status and tasks. Just then go to view network status and tasks. There you can see your Wi-Fi adapter. Click on that. Internet Wi-Fi SLD fiber. Just click on that. Click on the link. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes. Just click there. And then you'll get this connection settings. And then you can go to the properties of this. Properties. Then you can get another screen, and there will be displayed different settings, and you have to select IP version 4, IPv4 settings, fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. After QoS, Internet Protocol version 4. Internet Protocol version 4. No, not that. That is version 6. That is version 6. I need version 4. Then click on the properties again, or double click, so that will open the properties there. And you can see your IP address assigned automatically. I said about the protocols, different protocols. One protocol is DHCP. Actually, DHCP is the protocol works here and assign you automatic IP address. Let's see your IP address. Keep it as it is. Press Windows key and R key. Windows key and R key together and press CMD there. CMD. Avutana command එක වැරදි. Control විතරයි ගහන්න ඕන කලින්. That is the reason why you didn't get. You have to type control only. That is the reason. I didn't see that. Sorry. Then type CMD there. CMD. D command, prompt command, enter. Then type ipconfig in the string. ipconfig without any spaces. ipconfig. CONFIG and press enter, and you will get your IP address. So that is, you can see 192.168.1.4. So this, not that, this is your IP address. This is your private IP address. 192.168.1.4 is your private IP. This is your IP address of your network gateway, or you can say that this is your router. Route IP, we learned that. This is your route IP and this is your IP and this is the default gateway. We learned that later. Okay, so you can change this if you wish. So let me tell how to change this. Go back to this. Go back to this and just go to the manually assign in IP, this one. Use the following IP address and then you can type 192.168.1.10 there. Any numbers of any valid IP, but better, so some closer one, 192.168.1.10. 168.1.10. Type the dot, that will go to the next socket name. Then subnet mask, just click it and it will be automatically given to you. So then click on the next default gateway, that is your route IP. Just type your route IP address. That is 192.168.1.1. And as the alternate DNS server, DNS means how you can the domain IP is translated to domain, how domain is translated to IP. When you type a website name in your address bar, in your browser, in your address bar, it will then be sent to this DNS. It will check whether this address is available and it will do the translation. Next, after the translation, it will direct you to the particular address in the internet. It will route you. So then when the request reach the router check which the resources that you have asked as well as the protocol. If it is supported, then the particular machine, that is a server, service provided machine, the server in that corner, in that network will release the page or release the resource that you requested. If it is permittable, that will release the resource. That resource will be come back to your IP address, your public IP address. That is your service provider. Your service provider will send that to your router. Your router will know who has done the request and your router will forward it to your computer and the page is displayed. I repeat the process. When you type a page name in your address bar, DNS help you to identify the address because you have typed a domain to IP conversion done by DNS. Then this request that you made, so including the protocol that you have used and the request that you made will be sent to the server, a service providing machine, which is in the internet. In the service providing machine, which is in the internet, that request will be identified. And if it is permittable, if it is acceptable, if it is acceptable request, then it will provide its resource. That resource will be sent back to you via the routing path. The resource will be sent back to you via the routing path. And that will be rendered or displayed into your web browser. And that is what's happening. Right? Just type the preferred DNS as your route address. So that is the first contact point. 192.168.1.1. That is your IP address. So that is which you wrote about. Default gateway can be given as the DNS server too. There is the immediate contact point. So if it is not available, your router will contact your ISP. The router එකෙන් ඇහුවම router එක ISP ට යවනවා. අපි ISP එක දන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඉතින් router එක දෙන්න. Router එක ISP එක බලාගනි. Then if you want, you can give public another domain name service available publicly. So that is for everyone. Google. So just type alternative DNS 8.8.8.8. That is Google DNS. 4.8 Google DNS. Okay, click OK, and you are done now. Click OK again, and you assign the IP address. Okay, you can change it later if you wish, but don't worry, this will not disconnect you from your network, right? Because you are still in the same network. It will take some time. Right, go there and type IPconfig again in your command line, and you can see your IP address has changed. But not that this is your private IP address. Just type the command again in the command prompt. Go to the command prompt back again. Type IPconfig, or you can just press up arrow. Up arrow, then that will recall the command. No. Up arrow, please. උඩට ගහන්න තියෙන arrow එක අර ඊතලේ up arrow. That then press enter. And that will be recalled. Now you can see your IP address has changed to 192.168.1.8. That is manually given IP address. That is what normally we are doing in the networking. But the thing is, you have a supporter, that is DHCP. There is a special protocol work in your network with your router, which will automatically assign an IP address to you. Right? I know this lesson is a bit technical, so I'm telling a lot of technical words. So what you have to do is you have to re-watch the recording again to understand these technical jargons and confirm whether you understood. If you have any question, you can forward it back to me. These are technical, I know, but if you understand this very well, you know the link between these things and you know the coherence and the linking, then you can understand very well. In the examination, it won't be a big problem. You can just remember and write without by hearting. Therefore, please be careful. So please practice. And if you have any issue, prompt please that prompt that question, that time itself, don't delay it. Just place the question into the desk. I'll be replying as soon as I get the question. So be conscious, but don't sleep. Okay, so now you know how to assign IP, how to see IP. Let's see how to see your public IP. Let's go to Google again. In Google, can you type, what is my IP? So I have seen small mistake in your computer, Varshavi. So Lavanya, here your date time is incorrect. So that might cause an error. Are you in Sri Lanka or in some other country? So that can even be a situation. No? So if you're in Sri Lanka, please change your time. So if you're in other country, don't worry, just forget it. So if you're in Sri Lanka, just change it. Not serious. Go to Google and type, what is my IP? What is my IP? Just type, what is my IP? The first one, so you can see. Okay, press enter. And then you can see your public IP assigned by your ISP, Internet Service Provider, which is SLD. So this is the IP given to you, right? That is SLD. I think since you are using SLD, you are in Sri Lanka, right? Since unfortunately your date time setting says this is, I think, USA time, not USA even, so some other thing. I don't know. Please change your date time, right? Okay, then let's go back to the lesson. Now we know the basics. We have understands what is IP address. What is the limitation of the particular IP address? Okay, then the domain names. There are different domain names. I said about domain name. I can use domain names. I can, Internet Corporation, for assign names and numbers. They give domain names, but there are resellers selling this. It can be categorized into generic groups like commercial, org, organization, gov, government, edu, education, net, web, and there are more. So you can say info personal, and you can say biz for business, and you can say AAC for academic, and MIL for military. So likewise, there are military. There are different high level, these are called top level domains, and it can be country specific. So countries like Japan will have JP domain. Countries Sri Lanka having LK domain. Country New Zealand NZ domain. Country some other, let's say Pakistan PK domains. Likewise, so these are also these are generic, but these are country specific. Anyway, both are top level. Right, so if you want, you can take a snapshot, both are top level. Now we are here. We have to discuss the entire lesson. Actually, this is a summary, right? This is not actually the theory class. So we have already discussed that. We are summarizing the lesson. Since you forgot it. Here, LK, IN, JP, these are country specific, but all these are top level, and there are subdomains as well. And URL, so the domain name is this. Top level is this, the domain is this. Then when it comes to the URL, initially the protocol part is added, and you can add padding. So leading protocol part and padding resource name can be added with the extension and the file name. It is unique. How Internet works, I said this. You are requesting from the browser with the help of operating system, with the help of DNS, it resolves the IP address. So it sends the request to the particular IP address in the internet through the router, and this is a server providing the service. It will deliver the service. It will come back to your address through the web server's ISP, through internet to your ISP, to your router, and finally to you. And it will be displayed there. This has asked in the examination. So please remember the path, how it happens. Then the protocols, we discussed that as well. Protocols are set of rules. We just discussed that. And client server architecture, where server is sending the server is providing the service and client is consuming the service. Server is providing the service, client is consuming the service. So that is one main architecture that is there. Downloading, basically you download something from the server. Uploading, you put something into the service called uploading, up traffic, uplink. Downlink, downloading, taking something from the server. Uplink, upward, putting something into server. So both are possible with the client server environment. And there is another one called peer-to-peer architecture. In this peer-to-peer architecture, basically, both parties having similar privileges. One can share, the other can receive, the other can share, the previous person can receive. That is, no specific service provider. Both can be service providers. Like you are sharing files through Bluetooth, example. Times change CMOS battery එකක් දාගන්න. You can replace your CMOS battery if time is automatically changing. So this is CMOS battery. It is like 3 volt CMOS. It's not expensive. You can buy it. It is for few rupees. This coin cell battery. You can even order that from Daras. It's very small amounts. You can just order that from Daras. So better buy a few more batteries. Like you can use it for robotics and other tasks also. This is the battery need to be replaced. You can do this if you are using a laptop. That is the problem. So be careful when you are when you are removing the covers and replacing that. But if you don't know how to replace, you can ask for a technical help. This is not a big thing. When you remove the back cover, it's very easy to replace the battery. Just browse video in YouTube. Okay, so there are different servers, email servers, web servers, and different servers are there. Services we learn, so different services are also there. Internet provides a lot of services. So web browsers we learn, and search engine also we learn. Web browsers are the software programs which will help render web pages. So that will display the web page into us. That is the client software actually. This is the server software. Web server send the service. Web browser receive the service. And web search engine is used because there are multiple pages. Therefore, we need to use search engine to search the pages. Examples for search engines: google.com, ask.com, duckduckgo.com, yahoo.com is a portal that can be treated, bing.com. These are search engines. Here, this is the address bar. This is where you type the request. Hyperlinks pointing to some other pages, resources. Okay, file transfer protocol we learned. We can directly transmit files. We learn about FileZilla software as well. We can directly put files and download files from the server. Uplink, downlink, or upload, download is directly. Not through the website. It is directly drag and drop in. Or අපි file එක copy කරනවා වගේ pen එකකින් computer එකට drag drop කරන්න පුළුවන් server එකට. Server එකෙන් drag and drop කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේ computer එකට. So very convenient, fast way of sharing files. Remote access. You can access anywhere, any computer in the world. For supporting purpose, we can do that. For technical support, installing software. For actually, when you are doing that, I asked you to share the stream. That is for the helping purpose. All these things are possible. And not even that, even the bad guys like hackers can remote access your computer. Right? Yeah. Fixing problem, installing software, not just that, even a hacker can come and steal information. So file sharing we learned. Streaming a media is a very important thing. Downloading was streaming. So what's the difference? Downloading was streaming. So do you know the difference? So when you download a movie, you have to wait until you finish download. When you download a movie, you have to wait until you have finished. Then only you can watch the video. Video එක download වෙලා ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි video එක බලන්න පුළුවන්. That is for the video. You have to download and then see that. But right, where you have to download and put that. But so if you're streaming, it is YouTube, you know, if you want to see the cricket match, if you want to see a web channel, you don't want to download the entire thing. Instead of that, what you can do, you can just request it. And the particular portion will come down. So for an example, when you visit YouTube and when you want to watch a YouTube video there, right, just visit and let's request for some video in YouTube. Okay, here it is. And when you request that, so without downloading, start playing, but still this is downloading, but the downloaded part can be played. Downloaded part can be played. You download when to play when not. Something unexpected, something sharp. Right? You don't want to wait until it fully downloads. That is streaming. Streaming will make the media or conference in faster because you don't want to wait until the entire thing processed. You can play half of file, part of file, a portion of file can be played. So when you do the request, the server get that and release the media. So when streaming started, this client can watch the video and play the file. They can play the file. Okay. Search engines, I said. Domain name service, I said. That is the translation between IP to domain, domain to IP. Because we can remember names, computer can remember numbers. Electronic mail, sending, receiving emails. So mail server is there, and you send your email to your mail server. Your mail server is transporting that to the other mail server. So then the receiver can download from that. This is like sending a postal letter. You send to your post office. Your post office will exchange that with other post office. Ultimately, the receiver's post office will deliver the. That is like post office, right? Intermediate things are servers. And there are a few things to learn. So that is, email address is composed with two things. That is username and the domain name. Let's say varshavi@gmail.com. So Varshavi is the username and gmail.com is the domain name. That is how email address is constructed. Add this in between this. Then email has different fields. To CC, BCC, subject. Subject, self-explanatory. It is the topic. The content, it is the message. The attachment, other resources if you want to link. This you know. Subject is the topic, message, the attachment, additional links. And two is the receiver. CC is carbon copy or courtesy copy. Carbon copy or courtesy copy. The meaning of carbon copy or courtesy copy is actually a copy is sent. The receiver will know that receiver got a copy and here Shashikala got a copy, Dasun got a copy. Dasun know that this is originally sent to Shashikala and sent to Dasun as well. Shashikala knows this is originally sent to Shashikala, that means me, and also it is copied to Dasun. But both of them cannot see that it is forward to Monali. Monali is the BCC field or blind carbon copy or blind courtesy copy. Blind carbon copy, blind courtesy copy. Actually, this is a secret. That means Shashikala and Dasun both will not see Monali's address, but Monali can see this is originally sent to Shashikala and copied to Dasun and sent to Monali as well. So this is a secret, especially when you want to maintain a secret communication. That is blind carbon copy. Inbox is the place where you get the received mails, and draft is halfly composed emails. Sent is sent emails. Trash or deleted mails are the mails which are deleted. And junk or spam is unwanted emails, because you will get a lot of unwanted emails, promotions, different spamming links, different things, unsolicited, unwelcome messages. Right? That will be filled into spam and deleted shortly. Maybe 30 days after, it will be automatically. Therefore, please check your inbox, because sometimes inbox as well as spam, because sometimes incorrectly identified emails, that means sometimes they identify your own emails as spams. That can happen, right? Good friends as enemies, that can happen. Therefore, check spam as well, because it will be automatically deleted after 30 days. Okay, voice over instant messengers or VoIP. Or instant messages, WhatsApp, Viber. This is very common to you. You know that. Let me show the junk. And you can see there is a junk. What is that? Oh my God. I monitored your device on the net long time, successfully managed to hack it. So it was not difficult to me. Wow, very good. Then what have been in the business for a long time. When you visited a pornography website, oh my God, so I was able to put a virus in your computer and gave me full access to your device name, your camera, microphone. Oh my God, what has happened to me? Right? So they are requesting me a bribery. They're asking me to pay some money to get this deleted. So this is a spam, right? You don't even want to reply this message, but you can tell something like this. I'm interested in this spamming person, right? Okay. So this won't be read. Actually, this is for funny. Thanks for your friendly hack. Keep it with you and enjoy. These are spams, you know, these are phishing spams. Phishing means they are trying to they will drop this kind of message. And so sometimes if actually happen, the person will be afraid, oh my God, what will happen to me? So my social reputation will be polluted. My God, so what will happen? Likewise, people will be afraid if they have really done such thing, but I have not done that. So I'm not going to be afraid, because the thing is, I know about me and how I use internet. So that is why. So, but mostly this can be a potential attack, right? So people think, so likewise, they will think and they will be afraid, and they will, sometimes some people are paying. Believe me, some people are paying in Bitcoins to these guys. These guys are trying to phishing. This is phishing, spamming and phishing. Phishing, right? So these are the issues. So video conferences, you know about that. Social networks, you know about that. The cloud computing, the last thing in the today's discussion. So I said that I'll be discussing this lesson. Actually, I had to do this slower than I thought, because you didn't respond even to a single question today. My God, you were sleeping. I don't know. You were doing the things that in that email even, because you are so silent. I'm afraid. Maybe you get this kind of email next day, right? So therefore, please respond. At least I should know what you are doing, right? There is a responsibility doing a class as a teacher. Okay, these are the three services in the cloud computing. You can easily remember this, easily, very easily. I'll show you a tip or trick. So just remember this. Underlying layer is IaaS, the second layer is PaaS, the first one is SaaS, SPI, SPI, S is top, I is bottom, P is in the middle. So what is happening in this layer? Let me explain. So this is like you rent in a building, empty building. So that means you get all networking, storage, devices, virtualization, processor, everything, but you are not getting the operating system. You have to put your own, whatever you like, you have to put. Middleware, you are not going to get. Runtime, no software, no data, no application, everything you need to put. You are renting out the building only. You are renting out the computer only. Building here, you are renting the computer, which is in the cloud. Cloud means in the internet. Somebody else, some server is providing space, some server is providing virtualization, some virtualization can virtually processors. Large computers can give multiple computer, can create, like, you know how to create computer inside computer. I said that in one practical, that is a virtual box. Similarly, they will create a virtual box and give it to us. We have to install operating system there and start using data and software. After that, we have to put those things. Everything we need to put, but we will get on the hardware part. Hardware with that is IaaS. PaaS, you will get the hardware as well as a middleware operating system. So good environment is there, but you can put your application software. Your application software and data you need to put. This is like you are renting a house with assets. Rent Now you can live there, right? You have to create your own living style, but you can live. The next thing is, it is like you go and take a room in a hotel. Everything is prepared. Even meals are there. So you have to just go and use it. That is SAS. SAS like Google Docs, Google Sheets, everything is there, prepared. Everything is there, prepared. So you can just use it without much worries. So everything is prepared for you. It is prepared, and therefore you can go and use it easily without much trouble. That is SaaS. That is SaaS, software as a service. Easiest, most popular, easiest one. That is SaaS. Okay. PaaS is the platform. The operating system you'll get. Underlying hardware you'll get. Here you are not getting the operating system. You'll get the hardware part only. I hope this is clear now. This is the summary. We have discussed, revised the lesson that we have done. Right? Just go through the advantages, disadvantages, and see them. So when you are renting, it is good because you don't want to pay the full cost. You can get very good performance. You will not get the maintenance issue as it will be done by some other parties. Power issues you won't get. And the current disadvantages is you have to remotely access. You don't know the location. If internet connection is slow, then your work will be slow. Okay, Putya, I'll stop from here. Then good night. See you all next day. Next day, I'll be discussing the fourth lesson, use of multimedia. Before that, I need to revise the second lesson as well because you're missing that as well. Now, we have done up to a certain level, right? We have finished more than 60% by now of your syllabus. Right? Next day, I'll be doing the multimedia part after finishing the second lesson revision. So good night. See you all next week.